All right, guys, back here for the last one of the week here. So this is the Binance coin, BNB, to Bitcoin. Now, this is a nice looking chart. We haven't seen much of this in crypto of late, so it's very nice to see a very technically precise, bullish move, clear Elliott count. Boy, it just doesn't get much better than this. Hard not to like this. So I've got, this is the entire history. I can get it here on an 8-hour. So from the low, oh boy, hard to miss that 5. Going up, and then same thing with the 3, and from the low, just standard ops here. If I can get a pivot down here. So what do? We're up, right? So where are we looking for the 2 between the 50 and the 618? Right where we get it. Yeah, let's just see. I think there was a little bit of a front run on both sides here. So you come up to the 50 here on the B. It doesn't quite make the target. Could have been front run, or they ran into some. Hard to say here. It's just enough of a front run here. That could be the target. They just were through the 50, not quite to the target for whatever reason. Right? That's where we get the pivot. But the pattern is very clear. So coming off of this, if that's the 2, well, we've completed a 5 here. So likely, we've come up short of the median line. Likely, we've just got our 1 wave in, which is very bullish. So that's implying substantially higher prices. So if this 2 is going to play as our 2 here, we know the 3 relative. So if this, look, you can always look here. So let's see, let's do it this way, so you can see the edge. All right, so we're pulling the 2 from the entire impulsive 1. So you always look to the left. We can see the target for that 3 is actually way up here. I just throw these, you got to put them somewhere, so I just throw them up here. So if this is going to go, oh, pardon me. So this would be, we got the wrong 3. That's because I've got them on the same degree. So let me go up here so I'm not losing my place here. So let's go up to, we'll go intermediate so we can't miss it. Okay, so 1, 2. That 3 would be, if we're going to get a true 1618, let's put it up here, and we'll go 4th target here. We can put this down on the median line. So this 3, if we're going to get this to play here, all right, we're going to go here, and we'll put this all back together here in a sec here. Median line again. So something like that. So you can see what I've done there, hopefully. So now we come down back to this. So I've got those targets up there for wave relationships. We can get rid of this one. Right, so this still in play. We know those targets are up there, but right now with that established, we're trying to get a 1, 2 to come in here. So we're looking for, if this, assuming this is done, we can't quite make that assumptions just yet, but we can look for something like this to bring us down for that 2, for the 2 of the 1 of the 3, looking for that move. Right, so far, no reason to assume we're not going to follow, right, this nice impulsive structure. We've got an impulse up. Right? We're anticipating a 3 down. Now it's, let's go to a 4-hour here. We'll cut that in half. So it's not bad. So the 2 is a little tough on the 2 to dig an ABC out of there, but the rest of it is so good, you kind of got to just leave it and go, well, what are the other choices here? We have something truncated down here. Maybe I doubt it. That looks more like a diagonal into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So that looks like the 1 of the 3. We got to get an impulse in there. Looks like that's here to give us the 5. So the 3 looks pretty solid. Let's look at that wave relationship. So if I grab the length of the 1 from the proposed 2 down here, well, here's the high probability zone. This is part of how you build your count. So where did we go for this move, right? Highest probability zone for a wave 3. That's right where we pivot, right? Literally splits it. So it's not unreasonable to say, okay, given this now, I can back up and say, well, probability is I've got my 2 there given that fib relationship. Right, so with that established as the high probability 3rd, okay, now let's get some of this off here. So we look for the 4, right? So we know we've got a solid contender for the 2 down here, despite the kind of funky shape of it. Let's get that here. So where do we look for the 4? Right at the 38. Right, we don't threaten the 1. We come close, but we don't overlap the 1. Again, kind of a much like the 2, very abrupt correction here to give us our 4. Right to the, look at this, guys. Literally splits the lips of the Vegas wave. Just enough to get in between the 144 and the 169. Just amazing, right? Just boom, off it goes. So there's your potential 5. Now, have we started the correction? Well, it sure looks like it, although there may be more in that. This could be the 4 of the 5. So we're having very, very shallow retrace. Shit, there's really barely, you'd have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, it looks like, I'm on a 4-hour here, so it looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. This could be the 4 still going in. So let's get that. That's kind of crazy. Let's get that down. We'll go, let's get to white so I can see it a little better. And let's go up a degree. Let's go to micro. Okay, so there, that looks pretty reasonable. All right, so 1, 2, it looks like I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give me my 3. This could very well just be the ABC in here. Or, well, we could, you know, shit, we could have a triangle here. There's a couple of things that could be going here. Hard to say. We might have something along those lines. Well, there's an Elliott oscillator here, so we haven't yet gotten to 0. So on this time frame, a 4-hour, maybe on a 1-hour. But here's the impulse. There's the 3. Now we're retracing for the 4. So, I mean, you got to like this, right? It's a good sign to see something impulsive going on in crypto. So there we go. Reasonable count here. So we're trying to get, so the 2 is, we've got the 2 established here of the larger degree. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, still maybe another kick here to give us the 5. Wouldn't that be nice? Get us right to the median line. So if we pull back out here, that would certainly make sense. That would give us our 1. Right, so here's the larger degree 2. We need a completed 1, 2. So we're going to look for a retracement of the entire move from the low. We don't have the top of it yet, right? Assuming this isn't the top and there's one more kick up here. But if we get that right there, then you're looking for the 2 down here. So we get a fairly fat zone down here to be looking for it. So if this will be a function of where to look for it. Well, so just obvious stuff, right? So always look left. What do we have here? Well, we got a few things. So let me get this back reassembled here. Can I squeeze anymore? I guess I can't. All right, so, you see, you just sort of look left. So we could do it this way. So if I just take the 3 high here and just start pulling this stuff over. So you got a couple of things here. You might want to include that wick right here. So you'd get this pivot here. And I'd come right here. That gives you just about everybody. Let's get that B in there. So that gives you just about everybody. All the prior resistance pumps here, resistance potentially now comes in for support. So you'd be looking for the 2 right down here. So the anticipation would be one more kick to get out of this, to complete the 1. Now we got to come down here and give us something like that before we keep going, assuming it's going to keep going. Right? No reason to assume otherwise. You've got just beautifully technical trading. You know the market is hungry for something bullish. So it doesn't surprise me that this is very technical and following a beautiful Elliott count. Now, right, of course, they can always break down, but right now, there's no reason to assume that it would. So I'd be looking at this very, very long and hard here. If I get the right structure here, I get a 3-wave structure coming down, I want to be a buyer here. Right? You can be, well, you can put your stop note here where the wave 1 is, just under the golden zone. Now, ideally, we want to see, you want to see it hold here. We don't want to, of course, we could go down to the 786. That wouldn't invalidate here. We could have so maybe it turns into something deeper here for the 2. As long as we complete here in 5, it's really not, the 1 is no longer in place. It's not an invalidation point if we complete the 5 here of this one. So the 2 can go deep, but ideally you'd want to see it stay technical here. So now we've got that established. You'd want to see it stay here in this zone between the 50 and the 618. That's your high probability zone. And you've got your lower parallel here. Damn it, I can't squeeze up anymore. Of the, let's back to the 8. You've got your lower parallel here of the median lines that so far right now, hard to bet against that going up to tag the median line. Of course, if it doesn't make it, right, that's a sign of weakness. So you want to see that kick one more time to get there, right? Kind of confirm how technically this is trading. I got to open this up a little bit. So I'm going to pull this one off since we've already got that established. So operating on the assumption that this 2 is solid and we're trying to complete the 1 here. You really would want to see it get up. That last little kick here would give you more confidence that as to where we are, and that's a solid 1. Then the 3 wave down here. Here's your buy zone. Of course, right? We all know that. So that's where we'd be looking for it. No, it could go deeper, but I wouldn't buy the 50 and put a stop under the 786. That's me personally. I might split it here. I'd buy a portion here. So whatever capital allocation you want here of Bitcoin. So I'd put some of it here at the 50 and some of it at the golden zone. End up with a split fill. I'd put my stop underneath that wave 1 pivot, even though it's not going to invalidate the count. It's just structure. Right, so you can actually pull left right here. So just go across that. You see a series of wicks here. It's wick, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Now it comes down. You want it to be the support. So this is where I'd be looking to buy. All right, we come down here. I want to buy for that. Now, that would not give me no, it wouldn't be long enough. That potentially now if we go up here, that would be a natural target. So obviously you got the algo target here, but that's not our full wave 3 target. That's up here. So you might get a little reaction there. You might anticipate a reaction there. So the ideal path would be from here. So well, the 3 could move this over. Always a little bit of a, you're kind of just guesstimating here based on the structure. And of course, if it does do that, there'll be another set of median lines that can be drawn if we come up here and get that. So now you're looking for those confluence zones where the 2 median lines intersect here. So if this were going to come down, if we get this 2 down here, we're driving up, then it certainly sets up as a contender to do something like this. And we're going 3, 4, 5 to get up to that target to give us our 3 of this degree. Maybe an ABC back down to that's got to move over to the 4 here to give us our 4. Could go deeper, right? We'd have our clear invalidation points, and we'd have the same thing. We'd have structure here to guide us. So look, right? If we go up here and hit that, we'd be double topping, right? That would be a perfect tag at the median line. So this creates certainly a point where you'd think to yourself, well, if it breaks that, something's gone wrong with the count. If we're going to break this. Right, so that seems a reasonable spot. So it's really just a good looking, right, it looks like 2017, beautiful Elliott structure. Very technical so far. So I wouldn't be pushing for, I think you're too late to be a buyer here trying to get that last little pump up to give you the 1. But if you do get that and you get the reaction there because of the median line and the double top here, if you get that and it starts to come down, boy, that's juicy. Absolutely want to be a buyer there. Right, that's when I will absolutely alert it. I want to know I'd want to know. Let me know when I get to the 38 so I can be watching. So I'd put an alert on the 38, and then again, right? So even this B wave here, all sorts of good. You could put a pivot, an alert on that B wave. So if we get there, we're almost to the 50, right? And that structure, maybe that you could end up with a front run, right? So you don't want to put your alert. Here, come here. You don't want to put your alert right on the 50. You want to know a little bit ahead of time in case you get a front run. Right, so that you have a nice layout here of where this could be going. Yeah, right. It's good to see some signs of life in somewhere in crypto, and this is about as good as they get. Right. So one to keep your eye on. All right, guys. That's I think that's pretty straightforward one. There's not a lot of complexity to it. So hopefully it stays simple. Simple's always better. That's when Elliott Wave I would propose to you is always the most effective when it's so damn obvious you can't miss it. Unlike Bitcoin at the moment. All right, so this is a nice looking setup. All right, guys, that's it. That's everything we teach, right? In one coin. All right, talk to you later.